okay, and I'll get to read it as quickly as possible. Our WhatsApp line is very, very open. You can start sending in your messages so that we can have a big, robust conversation together. All right, you know how I do it every day, every weekday. It's always all inclusive. 081-717-56338. 081-717-56338. That's the WhatsApp number you can send your message to. Okay, and I'll get to read it like I said. Was tripping. Okay, now let me just drop this information for you. I want to take a trip to River State. Yeah, I beg your pardon. River State first. Okay, we hear that the coordinators of the Grassroots Development Initiative, a political arm of the PDP in River State, formed by Governor Nyesom Wike, the former Governor Nyesom Wike, have announced their withdrawal from the initiative. The GDI coordinators in 12 local government areas revealed the development yesterday, when they paid a courtesy visit to Wike's successor and estranged political godson, Governor Siminalayi Fubara. The GDI coordinators were led by Collins, who was the coordinator of the Obiapo local government area, of the state. Well, according to them, the GDI played a major role in Wike's election as governor, but the coordinators have now decided to dump the platform and team up with Fubara in the overall interest of the state. Well, there is currently an undercurrent of acrimony between Wike and Fubara, just in case you don't know. But like I said, for some it's a beautiful development, and for some it's highly regrettable. But how far, we shall get to know more. But then let me give you bit by bit of what you should expect this afternoon. First of all, I actually started by talking about that was yesterday though. I spoke on a reason why some persons are so silent. The presidency is silent. The House of the senators are silent, and of course the House of Representatives are also silent. Everyone is silent. Abuja, is silent, and the All Progressives Congress is also silent. And why are they silent? People feel they should talk more as regards the issue of this issue with Betta Edu. Yes, of course, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. Nigerians feel that these persons are just too silent. Where are we, and what are we doing already? Is it that she's been given another portfolio or something? She's been asked to play another role for the president? We don't know. But Nigerians are asking questions. What's actually going on? Then there is this protest, of some persons are planning against Akpabio. They actually call themselves a Diaspora group. They're talking about coming together to actually protest against Akpabio. But you get to find out why. Why the protest is brewing. You get to find out. It's your right to find out what is happening in our dear country, Nigeria. And aside that, Afeni Ferry is coming out to speak. Should I say for the very first time? But this time is kind of harsh and thick, heavy. They're coming all out, to say that, hey, our son Tinubu, stop giving excuses. Stop giving excuses. Go after terrorists and restructure the country now. And aside that is the fact that Pa Adebanjo, who happens to be the leader of the Pan Yoruba Social Political Organization, Afenifere, right? Pa Ayo Adebanjo has said that the presidency system is so very corrupt. I'm trying to give you bit by bit what you should expect. This afternoon is going to be very, very tough. It's going to be very heavy. We're going to be dissecting these issues one-on-one, objectively, this afternoon, because I have the CP here with me. We're going to be touching all of these issues back to back. And then but on the other side of this whole thing is what Buhari, the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is saying to the current president. He said, you've done well. He actually told Tinubu that Tinubu has done well and he's still doing well, that the country is actually very, very complex. What do you think about this statement? Oh my God, you're done well. The country is complex. So I just played my role, and I allowed you to play your role. You can see that it's complex, Abi. Tinubu, go and play your role and also live there. For some, when I interviewed somebody, that's how the statement sound. I would also ask you when I get to open up the studio lines what you think, but then CP would help us dissect this statement by the former president of Nigeria. Then some quarters are also talking about Tinubu initiating what do I call it now? Okay, or reviving cattle grazing reserves. You remember it caused a lot of commotion issues the last time, right? So Tinubu is again saying that might come back again to address this header farmer clashes everywhere, especially in Benue State, Nigeria. All right, several other stories this beautiful afternoon. EFCC is also in the news, and Gumi is back in the news again, and of course Atiku is there, and the main fella is also there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Matters on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Jude is my name. CP Chooks is also here. Beautiful afternoon to you, CP Chooks. Let's start with you now.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Ikami Judy, and to the listeners.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, now I want to roll out this one first, because of where I stopped yesterday. We actually spoke on Betta Edu yesterday. Why some Nigerians feel it's been too hidden. I mean, it's been too silent. The issue, Betta Edu's issue, has been very, very silent. In fact, some persons even said, I think my analyst yesterday said she traveled with the president recently, and a lot of persons are asking questions. Is it that the president has decided to, sheath the sword, or is it that the president wants to, find a way to douse the tension, or is it that the president wants to appoint her to maybe leave humanitarian affairs right now and face some other areas where you could function? Maybe the president feels she could function better. But then Nigerians are saying that there's been this total silence, about these women. CP Chooks, what do you think is actually going on? What is brewing? Is it that the president is actually going the other way, different from what Nigerians want as regards Betta Edu?
Well, Betta Edu happens to have been one of the 48 ministers. And what happened, there's no need going into details of what transpired before she had to step aside for the meantime. And it will not be fair to draw a conclusion that the government is not doing anything about the allegations against Betta Edu. So, having said that, what I believe is going on now is that there seems to be an in-house investigations.
I don't understand what you say in-house.
Yes,
investigation.
In-house. Yes, in-house in the sense that they will not be expected to make it a public hearing, So that is why I say it's an in-house thing. In-house in the sense that we will get to know the details after those who have been constituted and assigned to look into the whole hog or the whole allegations would have thoroughly done their job and then hand over their findings to Mr. President. That will now guide the president to take his decision. So for now, it is too early for the general public to be prognosing into whatever the in-house committee is doing. And at the same time, it will not be appropriate for people or for Nigerians to conclude that the president has just swept the thing under the carpet. He has not come out to tell you that a decision has been taken.
Okay. Because
if he's taking the decision, that means he's taking a decision based on what? On just mere allegations. The allegations has to be thoroughly viewed, investigated, analyzed, and then a report done on it and handed over to the president. It's like even the one Obaze is doing in Central Bank on all the atrocities that was committed both by the past governor of Central Bank and some other officials of CBN and their cohorts who are not part of CBN but are from outside, whether you call them cabal or you call them cartel from the villa then. It's ongoing, and sometimes I frown at the way people will go and peep into what Obaze and Co are doing and begin to publish bits and part of it. It is quite inappropriate to do that. I'm saying this from the background I came from.
Okay.
You know, in security circles, when you are doing an investigation, nobody should know what you're doing. You are open to receive facts and information.
This woman we're talking about is serving the public.
Yes.
All right. And when you talk about the public, serving the public also wants to know what is going on.
They will know.
Now, people feel that this thing has been prolonged for too long. Now, some persons have even come out to say, hey, maybe the presidency have said, okay, just like in the book of John chapter 8 verse 7, he who is without sin should cast the first stone.
Yes.
Maybe that is the current situation now, because again, don't forget that this same lady or this same woman is very, very close to the wife of the president.
You see, that is the same thing I'm trying to dissect. That it is still early for people to just hurry into a conclusion that the matter is not being looked into, or they are looking for a way around to sweep it under the carpet. You see, the thing is that we have a lot of other issues, confronting the nation, that we should focus our attention on that and forget about Betta Edu, whether she exists or not. Let us wait for them to finish whatever inquiries.
But the same EFCC now is going after Emefiele back to back. Instead of also asking questions or inviting the former president to come and answer, but then going after some set of people. I mean, why is it like that?
No, you see, the thing is this. If you bring the chapter of the EFCC is working on the volumes and piles of documents. And the documents have the footprint and handprints or fingerprints of the former governor of Central Bank, virtually in all of them. Is there anyone they said that Buhari signed? Buhari is not in CBN. That's why they have not gone to look for him or to ask him questions. He is no longer Mr. President, so the immunity clause has been removed. The veil has been removed from him. So anybody is free to either invite him, or if you have respect for him as elder statesman, you can go to him, to his house in Daura, and confront him with the documents. So if the documents are not there to confront him with, why are people making noise? You see, I'm not sentimental about issues. I tell you the facts, the way they are and the way they work. So from most of the things we've been hearing seems to indicate that they didn't even seek the man's clearance or permission to do a lot of things, a lot of sordid activities that was done in CBN. They will only say, Oga say, and they were working on that. I even remember those days during Abacha's time when I was in 4CID Alagbo. We were investigating some of those commercial banks that went under, for financial malpractices under the then Decree 18, of 1994. And I vividly remember that there was one man they used to call Abule. I think they say he's late now. He's from Bayelsa State. He used to own one bank. I can't really remember the name of the bank. Then they said that he will even use complimentary card, and at the back he will give you instruction to release so and so fund to so and so person. And then the GM in the bank, one of the GMs, you know they have many general managers, used to disobey such instructions because he felt it was manifestly unlawful, and that was what saved the man. Then Zebulon Abule, that's the man's first name. Zebulon now said, "Who and what are you to challenge an institution like me? When I give you instruction, you say you not obey." He says, "Sir, you see, you didn't give us an instrument, official instrument, which is the check. You didn't sign on a check leaf. How would I honor complimentary card?" He said, "You are now sacked." And he sacked the general manager. So when we were inviting people, we saw their signatures in one document or the other. The man came and cleared himself. He said, "Look, this is the complimentary card he gave me, and I refused to obey it. That was how I got sacked." They say, when we looked at the whole thing, we said, "Abeg, just go your way. When we need you again, we'll send for you." The one that obeyed had to carry the cross. We were asking him, "You obeyed complimentary card?" "Yes." "Just because you love your job?" He said, "Yes." We now asked him, "Is this an instrument to be used to take depositors' funds? Because that's what you're dealing with." Zebulon Abule does not own these funds. These funds are owned by depositors, and that was what caused the bank to go under. The man could not give any answer. He said he was obeying his organ. We say, "Okay, you and that your guy will sing together." That's what we told them. So what I'm saying in essence is that is how thorough inspectors in banks, do their job. They will be looking out for certain specific documents and who authored the signature, who gave such and so instructions. If you don't see Buhari there, Buhari never worked in CBN. So why will you ask him to come and begin to explain what he has nothing to do with?
So are you exonerating the former president of all of these allegations?
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
When they get the concrete one where he has given instruction, they can go and meet him to explain under which cover, under which ground did he take such a decision or action. But I know they are coming to that, especially in ways and means. They'll get him. They'll get to the president. Not yet. The former president, they'll get to him. That 23 trillion that later magnified to 29 trillion, that has it didn't go through the National Assembly because the 9th Assembly was so spineless that maybe because they were partakers, there were a lot of wrongdoings that they could have asked questions and challenged, between 2020, that time of COVID, between that 2020 and 2022. A lot of wrongdoings. So, for the fact that they turned their eyes the other way does not make it right.
The presidency is, for some persons, has continued to shield the former president.
I don't think so.
Now, how? The presidency has said that various funds released within the Central Bank of Nigeria during the tenure of the former governor Emefiele, which have contributed to the current state of the nation, were authorized without the knowledge or signature of the former president Muhammadu Buhari.
Is that not what I'm saying now?
Then who? You remember then,
yes.
During the cash crunch?
Yes.
Emefiele said all that he's doing is
it has the backing
of the president.
You see, the thing a lot of people do, a lot of unprintable things are done using the names of the office of governor or office of president, and we've been making that mistake time and time in the past and still making the same mistake till date. There are a lot of stupid decisions that are taken, and you ask me, they'll tell you to keep quiet and sit down. That Villa gave us instruction to do that. The challenge or the difficulty that people have, those technocrats that work in between have, is that access to Mr. President to find out whether this thing has his blessing or his approval or authorization or otherwise. That lacuna has always been there. The way they have turned the presidency thing is like a cult. You cannot have access. It is only meant for men indicated only. And that is why you see a lot of aides and hangers on, in the corridors of power, raising their shoulders as if they are alter egos. That whoever you think you are, whether you are executive governor or you are minister, if you don't pass through my office, you can never have access to Mr. President. It has been like that. I think the only person that broke that barrier, that didn't allow things like that to fester, was Olusegun Obasanjo when he was the president, because he created a venue where he could access a lot of people, and a lot of people could see him, as Mr. President, especially those who are supposed to see him on one-on-one and raise issues. In fact, those who worked closely with him used to say that those days, there are certain memos you bring, he will go through, he will send for you personally, directly to come and explain further on this thing you have written.
CB, if you're a president,
yes,
would you allow such things, to go under your nose, and you won't see anything about it? I mean, all of these issues with the CBN, even when Emefiele was still the president of CBN, the governor of the CBN, there were issues coming up every day, and it was like the president knew about it, and he was just looking at everyone like, well, it has my authority, it has my stamp, and don't worry, let it just fly. I mean, people wonder why, the president will just have the responsibility. I mean, know about all of these issues and not see anything.
Well, the first question you asked me is, assuming I am the president. Mm-hmm. I am not the president, one. I don't hope to be the president tomorrow, two. And I don't see myself ever being president, three. But having said that...
What I'm saying is, Buhari is supposed to take, responsibility.
Wait, now I'm coming. You asked me questions, right. 3 in 1 or 2 in 1. Now, the small level I held as a commissioner of police of a state.
Okay.
If you go, my records are there in Oyo. They will tell you, I maintained an open door policy. My office was open for every Tom, Dick, and Harry. I used to work very late, to the extent that sometimes my wife would be calling. She would call my PA, she would call my orderly, she would call my secretary, she would call everybody to tell me to leave that office. That I should pack whatever files that are remaining and come home. Maybe later in the wee hours of the night, when I sleep and wake, I can attend to them. My PA will say, a lot of people are waiting for Ogao. They are there in the waiting room. They've not seen him. And he insisted that he will see them to the last person before he leaves the office. So sometimes I live around there. It's not everybody that will have that flair, or have that attitude to the job, one, and that relationship with your fellow mankind. Because I would not like a situation where something is going bad somewhere, and it requires just my attention to hear that this thing is going on here, so that it's for me to give an instruction that an action be commenced immediately to be sure that this thing does not degenerate. Then I will say, I'll leave people around me to be raising shoulders. They'll make it impossible for people to see me. No, I don't give that space. I'll have to attend to them holistically. That has always been my approach. So I have also expected, depending on the person, the personality of whoever is occupying the office and his attitude to, number one, the job itself, and number two, the issues confronting the nation at large. It is, humongous to the extent that you don't rely totally on your aides, otherwise they will fail you. You need to put your ears to the ground ask questions, be up and doing, and be sure that certain things must be brought to your attention, one way or the other. If it requires you to put people who you trust, not necessarily sycophants because they are in the same political party with you. No, maybe look for technocrats, look for professionals, people that are vast in that area. You can hire them. There are many of them. It's question of put up maybe by way of advertisement or something that so and so and so persons are required for interview. You don't disclose details that they are going to work in the villa or with the president. You do your thing and put them in strategic places. They'll be your eyes and your ears in affairs of state. Let me even give you one example. I have a brother-in-law, a senior husband to my wife. He happens to be an engineer and he worked in Shell. He did a lot of all this cross-posting, working outside in Netherlands, in US, in UK, and so on and so forth. So when they brought him back, they took him to go back again to Port Harcourt. He said no, that if they cannot keep him in Lagos, that he had worked in Port Harcourt for a very long time. Because that time the spate of kidnapping was very high. And the expatriates component of Shell, many of them had run away from Port Harcourt. They all came down to Lagos. So he said, yeah, okay, because they are Igbos, you want me to go and stay there? If they don't see you, they'll carry me, that I'm Shell staff. He resigned from Shell. He now went to UK, to Oxford, and did a master's degree, I think in business administration also, to add to his engineering background. So because of the school he went to, and his very rich CV, from the villa, they picked him out. And one day he was just, when he came back, he was working with Deloitte, you know. They called him on phone and said, this is the chief of staff to Mr. President, Abakiari, that I want to see you. He said, well, he's sorry, he can't make it immediately because the wife was out of the country. The wife went to South Africa for where the wife happens to be a lawyer and working with Microsoft, that she traveled officially to South Africa. It's okay, when she comes back, this is my number, call me back. When the wife came back, he called Abakiari. He said, okay, are you set to come now? He said, yes. He said, okay, we are going to drop your details from the entrance, because if you are entering villa, you pass about 4 gates. You can't just pass it anyhow. Army is there, SSS is there, police is there, and so on and so forth. And they keep screening you. He finally went and met the man in his office. They started chatting. At the end, he carried the appointment letter and said, you are one of the senior special assistants to Mr. President on so and so and so and so area. He said, like that? He said, yes. When will you want to resume so that you can go and tidy up your end and be done with that your private sector people? We need you to help the government in so and so area. So you can see that if they want to search for the right people, that's the way it happens. You don't need to begin to advertise yourself. That's one. And two, you don't even need to wait for vacancies to be published. You know, okay, like me now. Let me just give you one small example. Even now that I have exited from the system, I still have a lot of consultancies I'm doing. And many of them are on recommendation. I'll be on my own and calls will come. And say, see, please, how do we see and discuss over 1 or 2 things? We want you to handle so and so a specific area for us. And that's why you see me traveling always. They're either going to Port Harcourt, going to Abuja, coming back, going for board meetings and all that. Those are the things engaging me. And that's why some will call me, I'll tell them, look, I'm not looking for a job. I have a lot of job I'm doing. You know, so if you want to tie me down, please, let me help you get another person to do that for you. I want at least that liberty. I've retired, so I don't need so much job on my hands. But let me just consult the ones I can do and deliver to the satisfaction of my clients. So what I'm saying is that in respect of what is happening in the presidency vis-a-vis CBN, those people took undue advantage and went too far, and they felt that the man who was there maybe is challenged by age, health.
The president, you mean?
Yes, the former president.
President.
And that they call themselves cabal. People like late Issa Funtua, was part of the Mama and Daura. They were all the people that were calling the shots, and even late Abakari and so on and so forth. So that Ogase turned the whole place upside down, and the people were just doing a lot of atrocities and getting away with it.
Talking about the atrocities you mentioned now, a witness, of the EFCC has told the Federal High Court in Maitama that 10 officials of the Central Bank of Nigeria, including the former governor Emefiele, minuted on the documents for the award of multi-million contracts, to April 16, and another company, at that time. And, in fact, they also revealed how the CBN governor awarded contracts to Emefiele's wife-in-law, Emefiele's wife and in-laws and all of that. This is, evidenced by, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission.
You see, these are the things I'm telling you, that Oga has a lot in his hands. So he cannot focus his attention on what is happening in CBN. That nothing will happen.
The big question is, who is to blame? Who should checkmate the CBN?
Number one, there is CBN Act that spells out the role and function of the CBN, as well as virtually all their principal officers, including the chief executive of the Central Bank of Nigeria, who happens to be the governor of CBN. But having said that, they are supposed to be supervised by the Federal Ministry of Finance. They are supposed to be supervised, or in as much as they are semi-autonomous. The activities of what is going on in CBN is supposed to come to the knowledge of the Minister for Finance, but they take undue advantage, because every president that comes, they have direct access to the presidency. They seem to somehow neglect the Federal Ministry of Finance. Whatever information they want to pass to them, they just pass that to them, just to fulfill all righteousness. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course.
But at last, the chicken is home to roast. From what we are seeing now, it's time for reckoning, and the documents are there speaking for themselves. So it's unfortunate that Abakari is no longer there. Issa Funtua, who was always collecting foreign exchange, and even the Emefiele was so scared of Issa Funtua, because the man was something else. He was always threatening him that, look, if you don't do this, just count your days, that your days are almost gone in CBN. And the man was so scared of him. We believed that is true. Meanwhile, the commander-in-chief may not even know all those things happening. If Issa Funtua was involved in round-tripping, money laundering, rent-seeking, and all sorts of foreign exchange malpractices, he will come and buy dollars. Maybe dollars was like selling for $4.50 official window, official rate, and there is a specific amount that is given to him every week. Then he has his bureau de change all over Abuja, that if, for instance, he takes 1 million and give them, they will go to the market and sell it for maybe 650, 700 that time. And you know the difference? That means you're making 300 million in 1 week. I'm just limiting it to $1 million. Only God knows the number, the amount of dollars he was getting weekly. To the extent that at a point, it was alleged that the man had 2 private jets. For doing what? Doing nothing. Okay, now, the last time we had, the son is on the run for another contract issue. Himself and somebody from Uganda, a businessman from Uganda, 2 of them did a deal and took away 28 point something 0.6 billion from one of the government agencies or departments, and they are looking for him for that. And he's a young man that is around between 27 and 30 years old. So you see that a lot of wrongdoings. That was what plundered the national economy to the extent that we are almost declared bankrupt as a nation. If you go and look at the books, it's only the grace of God that will get us out of this mess.
Yeah, let's come to present day now. Yes. I earlier mentioned the statement by the former president to the current president, of Nigeria. Former President Muhammadu Buhari has commended President Bola Tinubu, was saying that the president has done well despite the complexity of managing Nigeria. He has done very well despite the complexity of managing Nigeria. I'll get your thoughts on that quickly. Buhari said a couple of things though. According to Buhari, governing Nigeria is a tough job, for anyone. Adding that there isn't much anybody can do to help the country. There isn't much. Let's take note of that line, that statement. There isn't much. Now, he noted that the President Tinubu has performed well since getting into office despite the economic hardship experienced by Nigerians across the country. The former president, asked Nigerians to endure the economic hardship in the country and support the policies and programs of the current administration. Let's go back to that statement, he made earlier by saying that there isn't much anybody can do to help the country. Really? Some people will tell you, really? When you have the right policies, there isn't much anybody can do? What do you see? I mean, how would you weigh this statement?
You see, sometimes people don't weigh the statement that comes out of their mouths and the implication, just like you have been able to isolate it out now. And the statement speaks volume about the type of person the former president is. That means affairs of state to him is not something somebody should go and break his head about. That's the implication of that statement. So he should do the bit he can and leave the rest. Whether the country is getting to precipice, that's the business of the country. That's summary of what he has just said, if you analyze that statement critically. And the fact remains that he will never see anything wrong in this regime, because he will continue to be eternally grateful that if not for the commander-in-chief today, there's no way he would have been president. It was the coalition of all the opposition parties into APC that produced him, that made him to be president for 8 years. So he can never see anything wrong or criticize anything so long as it is this present government.
And it is this same government, that pulled the trigger, and now we find the economy almost where it is right now, from selling fuel about 185 naira, now we now have 600 naira per liter, and someone is saying that the president has done so very well.
That's his own assessment, and like I said, he will remain eternally grateful. Do you expect him to criticize when he had enjoyed 80 years as president, courtesy of the present president? It was the present president that installed him. Is it not glaring to all Nigerians? So if you expect anything different from him, then we will not be telling ourselves the truth. It's like on April 22nd, 1990, on a Sunday morning, one Gideon Oka, major in the Nigerian army there, struck. And the way he shook the northern barracks, IBB, the then military head of state, thought that he had gone completely. He lost total control. It was then Lieutenant General Sani Abacha, who was Chief of Army Staff and the Chairman Joint Chiefs of Staff, that mobilized loyal forces to fight back against the Oka group and succeeded in subduing them. And as at that point in time, if he had wanted to take over as the head of state, it was very easy and comfortable for him to do that. But he did not do it. Rather, he brought back Babangida and said that he would continue the good job he was doing till he finished that Bible. The only thing is that he said they are going to hand over in 1992. The thing ended up not working. They adjusted it due to their own Maradonic arrangement to August 27, 1983. And then they did the June 12 election, and the election turned against what they expected. They went ahead and annulled it, you know, and all that happened. The analysis I'm trying to make here is that even after Babangida left, he made sure he left Abacha as the Secretary of Defense for the interim national government. He retired, he stepped aside and retired all the other service chiefs, but left Abacha. When they asked him, he said, no, his presence will stabilize the polity. And then when the place continued to wobble and fumble, on the 17th of November 1993, he moved away Shoneko and after 82 days and scraped all the democratic structures and balanced as the military head of state until he died on 8th of June 1998. Even till death, Babangida continued to respect, worshipped and adored Abacha for that singular act. You can see the analysis. Yeah. That's exactly what is repeating itself now. That there is nothing that will happen in this regime. You'll expect to hear something different from Muhammadu Buhari, because he had already lost hope, having started 2003 under ANPP. It didn't work against Obasanjo's second term. He came again in 2007 against Yar'Adua. It did not work. He left the ANPP, formed the CPC, came in 11 against Jonathan. It did not work. And he looked at his age, he said, look, I don't think I'll continue. Let me just go and rest. It was the formation of the APC. They said, no, come and try. They had looked at the factor that he was always winning the Northeast and Northwest. And each of the past elections, he was netting between 10 and 12 million block votes from those areas. So they felt that, look, if we bring this man, join the Southwest, where we're in total control, there's no way anybody can beat this man. Then we can now begin to scramble from North Central and Southeast, whatever we can get, we will now add up. And in the end, the man got a sitting president knocked off with over 2-point-something million votes. Who was the magician behind it? It's the present president. And you see, that time, the present president couldn't have come out to contest because it was a southerner in the person of Bele Goodluck Jonathan from the same south that was the sitting president. So they needed somebody from the other part of the divide to come and be sure he carries that, he recovers that block vote of the Northeast and Northwest and Southwest. And that was how the magic came to pass. And after he won, there was bandwagon effect, even in the gubernatorial, that they had to take over a lot of states, including Kaduna, where sitting governor was just thrown out, and so on and so forth. So that's exactly what the whole thing is all about.
Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Yeah, a couple of comments coming in, especially on YouTube right now. Yeah, Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll get to read them, okay? The clean ones I'll just select and read. YouTube is a place where if you go there sometimes, but I'll get to just select and read them. You can also drop your comments in case you're watching right now, or you use the WhatsApp number 081-717-56338. 081-717-56338. Don't forget, I also spoke about the WhatsApp group for this show. Rather, there's a WhatsApp platform for this particular program. All right, where we meet and talk. Morning, afternoon, evening, night. It's just busy, all busy, every day, every time. All right, you feel free to just join, that group, and of course keep the rules and regulations. Okay, the number to, in case you want to just be part of that group where you could air your opinion, your views. Okay, 070-121-46454. If you must be on WhatsApp. Okay, just add me on WhatsApp to 070-121-46454. I'll also touch on some comments, just right there. I will take your calls. I can see several calls coming in, but then there is this issue. There's this big issue brewing again outside the country. There's a United Nigerians in the Diaspora, UND is what they call themselves. They have announced a plan for widespread protest, street protest at Nigerian embassies in Washington, D.C., several other U.S. cities, London, and various major cities in Europe and Asia, to push for the immediate resignation of 1. Senator Godswill Akpabio, 2. The chairman of the Economic and Financial, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, that these two should, as a matter of fact, resign as quickly as possible. Like people say, ASAP, resign, leave there. 2 of you should leave there. They should leave there. And some will say, hey, they're talking about protests. That is outside the country. We've seen protests even in this country that at the end of the protest, nothing happened. And now you're calling for a protest outside the country. Of what essence? Of what? Will he move any mountain? Will he move any tree? Will he move any stone? Having a protest against some persons, 2 persons to keep people in this country. Outside the country, you're protesting, and these guys are here in Nigeria.
Well, they are in civilized clime, and it's a normal thing for people to do protests in those developed nations. And like you rightly pointed out, what impact is it going to make at home? I don't think it will make much impact. The only thing is that it's a warning signal to the 2 principal public officers mentioned.
What they're saying is they said that the INEC chairman should resign over what he described as the conduct of the shambolic 2023 general election. That thing is still in the minds of people. Has always been there.
I am coming.
And the other one, they said that probably should resign over, the budget pardon raised by Senator Abdul Ninji.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's like a warning sign to the 2 of them that all is not well, especially as it concerns their conduct vis-a-vis the offices they are holding. It is really preposterous for someone like Akpabio to tell us that when that error of 3 trillion as raised by Ningi from Bauchi State of pardon happened, that he was in the hospital bed, or he was in the hospital maybe having some bed rests and all that. Is it not ridiculous for him to begin to put up such defense? The question is, which hospital was he in, receiving some medical attention when they did the pardon? In other words, the thing happened behind him. It's really an unfortunate situation, and let us see how the appropriate mechanism will be applied to that pardon that has been detected, because I mean, you can't get one appropriation signed, you keep it one side, and you begin to implement. It's the height of fraud if such a thing is established or is a statement of fact. How did it happen? They said some people went and smuggled it in. Who are the people that smuggled it in? 3 trillion? That's almost 10% of the budget.
Yeah.
More than 10% of the budget, because the budget was around 27 point something trillion. They raised it to 28 point. So if we're talking of 10%, we're talking of 2.8 trillion. It was far more than that. Anyway, the earlier we begin to be more serious on issues like this, the better for us. Because Nigerians in diaspora that are going out there to demonstrate, they are not doing it because they hate anybody's face. It is because of the interest, love, and concern they have for the Nigeria, for their nation, Nigeria. And if you don't begin to correct the wrongs now, it will continue to decay and degenerate. And that means at the end of the day, the future generation have no place to look up to. That's why they have come out in the interest of their children. Because, I mean, come to think of it, even if you have dual citizenship or whatever it is, you are living in UK or you're living in US or Canada and all that, North, East, South and West, home is always the best. So no matter how bad it is today, it will not continue to be like this all the time. A time will come, things will change.
Let's quickly touch on insecurity,
yes.
Especially what Gumi is about now again.
Yes.
Gumi has said, he has revealed his intention to dialogue with with bandits. He said it before.
Yes.
He loves to, talk, speak for bandits.
Yes.
Dialogue for bandits.
Yes.
Bandits who this time abducted around 287 school children. From Kuriga Government Secondary and LEA primary schools in Chinkum local government area of the state. Gumi said these, he said this in the bid to facilitate the release of the abducted school children, and that the President Tinubu should give him the opportunity to negotiate. I'm asking you this because you are a former commissioner of police, and we're talking about negotiation with bandits. In fact, he said it to Buhari. He said he's now telling Tinubu to not, your former president did not listen to me when I told him, ask me to help you negotiate with these people. And I'm asking you now again, allow me to negotiate with these people. Would you say yes or no? Now look at his statement. Well, according to
Gumi,
Gumi, Tinubu must not repeat the mistakes made by former President Muhammadu Buhari, who refused to dialogue with bandits. A whole lot of questions to ask. CP, dialogue with bandits, flush them out, or which way? Actually, is dialogue the best way now to douse this security tension in the country? The way it's going, because why am I saying this? It looks like security forces are overwhelmed, or maybe something is just somewhere happening, like somebody said, some persons actually milking, or they are being favored by the current situation in the security situation in the country. But some are saying, okay, the president should also actually look at it and negotiate with them, dialogue with them, give them what they want, so that there will be peace in the country all around. I want us to holistically look at it. Which one will favor the country? Because we're talking about insecurity, and that's why we're where we are. People can't go to their farms. So let's look at this security thing and look at it very well. Should we now talk about negotiating with these guys, or it's a matter of force. If it were you, what would you say if you are the president of Nigeria?
Well, I can't be president of Nigeria, but if I'm to advise...
No, did you say you can't or you can?
I can't.
Why? You don't want to be the president?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
You know what it takes to be president? You have to have
two heads.
No, one head. But
Okay.
quantum of resources.
Okay.
That's the capacity.
Okay.
And the resources must be in foreign exchange. So that when they go for delegates, for the delegates primaries.
Really?
You know where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
so where are you going
your friends will show up.
Those friends of yours.
All of us will show. I'll be here,
Those friends of yours.
behind the microphone doing my thing for
Those
you.
friends of yours that will show off. Are they not also interested in occupying the same seat?
It happened during the primary, Some people just decide to drop and say, well, just go, don't worry.
Well,
Let's face it.
Coming back to the questions you have asked, it's a dicey, two-edged approach if I am to make an objective analysis.
Okay.
As things stand, people are being held captive. Are you going to talk of force? If you want to use force, that means you have sacrificed all those people because they don't care. All those people in their camps that are abducted or kidnapped, they wouldn't mind killing all of them, bury all of them in shallow grave, and get ready for you for action. So if I am to advise, for now, force should be kept in abeyance. They should think of how to begin to talk to them, dialogue with them, negotiate with them to bring out these people safely. The only thing is that I believe that there are group or band of illiterates that are doing this, because I learned they were asking for 40 trillion. So 40 trillion is it's almost double the budget of Nigeria. Okay, it's like 2 years budget of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
40 trillion?
Yes.
And where would they put that money?
That is what I'm...
Who would take it?
That's why I say they are stark illiterates. They are very useless and irresponsible idiots. I mean, how can you be asking for... Even if they say, okay, go and bring 1 trillion. How are you going to carry 1 trillion? That means you line bullion vans. Not one, no. So many bullion... Not billions. We are not talking of billions. We are talking of trillion. If you are to move 1 trillion, all this spacious court you see CBN moving, if you get to the details, you find out that it is just maybe about 1 billion that you are seeing all those long convoy moving. 1 billion. I'm telling you, because do you know what the quantum we are talking about?
1 trillion, 2 trillion, 3 trillion,
to 40,
5, 10
to 40 trillion,
15, 20, 30, 35, 40 trillion.
Yes. So where are they going to stack the 40 trillion?
In other words, are they saying that it is really impossible to negotiate with them? Is that what the meaning? Let's look at it. For someone to be saying that you should give them, 40 trillion naira, maybe they're making it very impossible for the federal government to want to negotiate.
Yes, that's what they want to do. And if I were the government, we'll engage Gumi. Let him go and perform that his magic. Let us see. Because that's a non-kinetic approach.
Beautiful. And people would ask you,
yes,
why is Gumi this interested in negotiating with these guys for the federal government?
The thing is this, he's a religious Islamic cleric and highly respected by all sides, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And with his position and the respect he enjoys amongst those circle, there are those who will quietly come to him, either as individuals or as group, and make it clear to him, maybe by way of passing intelligence information to him, that this thing that has happened, we know the group that did it. We know where they are, but we will not disclose details to you. So all you need to do is, if they will listen to you, be the mediator between them and us.
Okay.
Then when we get what we want, we release the people to you to hand over to them. I'm just saying this, not that that is the position, but it seems likely that that is what is playing out. So instead of exposing the already overstretched military, police and other security agencies to risk of going to look for a way to release these abducted persons, and then end up some of them losing their lives.
Okay.
Then you do the other option.
I again want to come to you this way. If it were America.
Oh no, you can't compare the two. Don't even compare the two. Such a thing can never happen in the US. It can't. Even in UK.
Would you ask Trump to negotiate with anyone?
That's why I say you can't compare the two. It wouldn't even happen in the first instance in the US. Where are you going to do that? And where are you going to keep the people? When surveillance camera is everywhere, any movement you make is being monitored. They are ahead of you. The technology-driven security is far ahead of you. As you're driving in, the thing is getting all your details. And you know the way these animals used to operate. They would dress like gangsters. They would dress even in military uniform and wear silpas or wear sandal. And no proper military dressing. You know that these ones are terrorists. And you think, where are you going to even set up that your camp in the US? Where are you going to set that up?
Let's come to what I would want to quote verbatim.
Yes.
What Gumi said.
Yes.
He said the government's stand of no negotiation with the bandits is an unfortunate position. My advice is that the government should dialogue with the bandits, not only for these, Kuriga school children's abduction, but all cases across the country.
Yes.
Also, the government should use the same approach it used in releasing passengers that were abducted on the Abuja-Kaduna train in 2022 to release the Kuriga school children and others. What's it called now? The approach that they used to release those people. He went for that to say, I am ready to lead a holistic dialogue between government and bandits. It is my religious duty to do so for peace. I hope the present government of President Bola Tinubu will listen by dialoguing with the bandits, because the past administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari refused to do so. But then Gumi had previously negotiated on behalf of the state government to free abducted people by bandits. I want to ask, is negotiation the only or the best way to go now? But you are saying, why not negotiate with them to release every other person? But is that the only way, the best way now?
That's what I'm saying. That should be the first option. You get them out safely. You have to value human lives. It is. It has to be a priority. Like, if you look at what happens in developed climes in the US, in the Western Europe, even the Eastern Europe, the European nations as a whole, and even the Middle East, not necessarily the Middle East, the Asian countries like China, India, they value lives of their citizens. That, especially in America, for them to lose one person, they would, whatever it takes, they will do it, than to shed the blood of an American. You understand what I'm saying? So, if it were the US, they will do everything possible. They will do the negotiation, they will do the mediation, They will do the arbitration without firing a shot.
Okay.
For them to achieve what they want. Then after that, you can now go and plan whatever you want to do and think of how to wipe out wherever you have identified.
The position of Pa Ayo Adebanjo is quite different from what we're saying here.
Yes.
You know, he has said that the president should go after the terrorists operating, across the country, and he also warned that the president should not afford to fail in his critical national assignment like his predecessor Muhammadu Buhari. Now, what did he say? He said that the president should, as a matter of urgency, as a matter of fact, go after terrorists and, of course, restructure the country. I want to base all of this on the statement "restructure the country." Don't you think that restructuring will go ahead to solve or to settle so many of all of these challenges bedeviling the country?
Restructuring will definitely do that. But then that is a subsequent consequence. You can't bring in restructuring now that you're having this crisis. Resolve this basic crisis and fundamentals now as a matter of priority. And that is why I said you are not doing anything wrong if you'll be able to negotiate, mediate, arbitrate, and save lives. Whatever it will take. Let it be that you are a coward, that you are playing to the gallery,
okay,
you are grandstanding, whatever grammar they want to speak, so be it. But save the lives of those captives in the camps and the den of these unscrupulous elements. By the time you have saved lives, then you can now go back to the drawing board and become serious on how to do general clearance of identified camps, black spots, and criminal hideouts of those terrorists.
Okay.
By the time everywhere becomes calm, then you can begin to talk of your restructuring or no restructuring.
Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I get to open up the studio lines right now to get your own participation. My name is Jude.
Dear valued listeners, we believe in free speech, but with freedom comes responsibility. We'd like to remind you to be mindful of the power of your words and the impact they can have on others. As members of Voice of the People community, it is crucial that we foster an environment of respect as we desire healthy discussion and diverse opinions. So, how do you contribute to a more responsible and informed dialogue? 1. Fact check before you speak. Take time to verify the information you intend to share. 2. Respectful language. Choose your words thoughtfully and avoid derogatory or offensive words. 3. Encourage a healthy debate. 4. Lead by example as a listener. You also have a powerful voice. To be part of the conversation, the number to call is 0700 903 903 903 or send a WhatsApp message to 0700 903 9039. Words have power. Use them right.
All right, welcome back. You heard that. Words have power. Use them wisely. Keep your comments civil. Okay? In other words, then kindly move away from your radio set or turn down the volume of your radio set so we can hear each other. Okay? Please do that for me. Thank you so very much. 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. Then the WhatsApp number for now is 081 717 563 38. 081 717 563 38. Let's get to the phone lines now. Good afternoon to you.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
This is Opel calling you from Shasha.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pictures.
Good afternoon to you too.
It can be Jude. I'm beginning to wonder what we face in Buhari regime. It's like the president we have for 8 years of Buhari is a sleeping president. I don't see a situation where something of this magnitude is happening in CBN, and Buhari, they are now telling us that Buhari is not aware of what is happening in CBN. Is it not ridiculous? If Buhari, the president of a country, does not know what is happening in CBN, where else will Buhari know what is happening? Is it in National Assembly or is it in NNPC? CBN is where Buhari is supposed to know what is happening. Look at amount of money in trillions that Buhari is telling us that he did not know, that he did not know what is happening there. All these documents, who signed and who did not sign, he doesn't know what is happening there. That people are coming to say, Oga did not say, Oga did not say, and trillions are going out on a monthly basis, on a daily basis, without the president of a country not knowing. In where this kind of a thing happen? In which kind of country this kind of what happen? And that president, they leave him to go scot-free? It can be Jude. Are you sure that we are not going to see the same in this present one? I rest my case.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Appreciate your call. Let's take more calls right now. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. It can be Judy.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Sonny from Sweden.
Sonny, welcome. It's quite sunny here in Nigeria.
Yeah, right, that's good. Good afternoon, CP.
Good afternoon, Sonny.
Yeah. I like the conversation, the way it was going gently and smoothly. First and foremost, I think the federal government has to arrest Sheikh Gumi, if they really want to get to the root of this bandit and terrorism in Nigeria, in northern parts, because Gumi he knows so many things concerning this terrorism and bandit. So for me, he should be arrested. They should have interrogated him so that he can explain more what he knew about these guys. Secondly, it's just like Reverend Father Ejike Mbaka in the southeast, pleading to negotiate with Fulani terrorists or bandits or whatever, you know. So he must call for questioning. That is aside. Secondly, America did not negotiate with bandits. They eliminate the bandits. Whatever it will cost them, and they can never allow a single soul to be wasted. That is the reason why they came to Nigeria, rescue one of their citizens in Nigeria, because the bandit knew what they can do. If they have trying to, resist the securing of the guy, they would not find it funny. They knew what they are doing. And the northern part, I'm sorry to say this, the elite in northern part, they are the masterminding of this terrorism, because it makes them relevant in the political realm. If not, why don't they clear the mess for a very long time? They are using these guys for a political relevance. They knew what is going on. They know if they want to stop this terrorism and Boko Haram, they will stop it, because they are benefiting.
All right.
I can give you my address here in Sweden. I'm not kidding. This because Judy say we should keep it civil. I understand that we're in a radio space. Do I have to mind my words? But I can give you my address. That will make it easy for me to sue the federal government in the international community, in the international law court here, for them to provide the list of the terrorism the Saudi Arabia have been made known. Why are they still keeping it? Why didn't they disclose the names they have been the AU have released, and they don't want to release it to Nigeria to know the people behind this, all these things we are going through. What kind of country is this? Are we going to continue? During the Jonathan regime, they kidnapped about 200 and something Chibok girls. The same thing is repeating, and we are just still romancing the issue, romancing the issue as if it's normal.
Thank you. Your
my goodness, I don't get it, honestly. I don't get it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, good afternoon to you. This afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too.
Mr. Ben from Labour.
All right.
You can see all these lamentations and crying. If you continue like this until Tinubu will finish his 4 years, I'm telling you the truth. Do you know when insecurity problem will be solved in Nigeria? When votes begin to count. If votes does not count, this is what you'll be seeing. Do you know when Buhari, the choice of Buhari in the last election was Ahmad Lawan? That was the choice. Ahmad Lawan was boasting that next time we hear his voice, we hear his voice as a PC presidential candidate. And that same day they were doing primaries, was it there? Rufai of the APC Northern governors went to Buhari and told Buhari that they want power to come to the south. When Tinubu cried to them, what they negotiated, nobody knows. And they went to Buhari said they should go and bring the person. I asked them, do you have somebody? They said yes, can bring the person. They went and bring Tinubu and introduced to Buhari. That same day they discussed, they had their way, and they went to the Eco Square. Another one was even boasting that a small time he will be declared the winner. At that minute he got the information, he felt so bad. After the whole thing, Tinubu went to him and said, I know by now you are licking your wounds. What did they discuss? I believe what they discussed, what they negotiated is what we are seeing now. Look at Tinubu now, a South and a Yoruba man, negotiating for Fulani herdsmen to have ranch all over the whole 36 states. You can imagine. There is nothing like a herdsman now. What you have is terrorists. Nothing like good herdsmen or anything. What you have is terrorists. They just use cow and distribute people, kidnappers. They are all kidnappers now. This is what we continue to negotiate this thing. We continue to lament. We continue to cry. If the military, Tinubu give military free hand now to go and fish out these terrorists. I'm telling you, 2 days they will bring all of them out from the forest. Because if you what is the work of Tucano Jet? Tucano Jet has what too big in the forest, and he can move very fast. You will not see it. He has camera, very powerful camera, and all these people are in the forest. And the Gumi is talking about negotiation. The government is talking about negotiating with you. And so, people should come out clean and tell us what you negotiated with all these northern governors.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Mr. Ben. Thank you. Well, everyone is talking about arrest Gumi. What is Gumi doing? Let me hear this person's opinion. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Kamejide.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, CP.
Good afternoon to you too.
Right, this is to calling from Fleet and Sierra Leone. Kamejide, my heart bleeds because Nigerians still don't know exactly what is happening in Nigeria, but we do. When I say we do, Nigerians still don't have the clue what is about to fall on them. I wish they know. But let me say something here. Where is former U.S. President Barack Obama and his wife Michelle Obama, who stay in the Oval Office? He was given that right as a black man to rule America, but he came out and blackmailed Jonathan. Where is he now? There is no more bring back our girls in the Oval Office. Shame. Hypocritical human beings. It's very, very sad. Where is she? Where is him and his wife? Nowhere to be found. I will to remind them what they have done to Nigerians. And let me say something here. The 40 trillion they are asking is a script written to them. Believe you me, because Gumi have said it all. Allow him to negotiate, because while he has his own share on it, he wants to make it impossible for even only government that is come to negotiate with them. Why are they calling 40 trillion? Because he knew when he asked them to say that, nobody will even try to say anything about it. The terrorism continue. Now let me say something about Buhari. We say that Tinubu is doing well, and you see, that is why I say that you go in Nigeria, you see too much professors, educated people, but they are educated illiterates as far as I'm concerned. You see professors, they can't even go to other countries where things is going on. Professors will come out and say, no. But in Nigeria, it's only when what they know how to do is tribalism, and who is going to rule and who is not going to rule. You are from this side, you are not supposed to vote here. Bullshit. Buhari says that Tinubu is doing well. Fine, you can see it. A bag of rice is nearly 90,000 or 80. But you remember that Buhari had come 2003, he was rejected. 2007, he rejected. 11, he rejected, and he now come with the threats. New people forgotten, but we don't forget. We have his archive. He said that whatever happened in 2011 happened again in 2015, that dogs and baboon will soak in blood. It was a threat to Jonathan. What did Jonathan do? He sit his ugly ass in Asarok, drinking God knows whatever he's drinking. You can't make that threat to the government, to the sitting president, and then get away. But Buhari get away with it. He said it that that thing that happened in 2011 happened again in 2015. Dogs and baboon will soak in blood. He's dead. I wasn't the one who said it. He said it. He threatened Nigeria. What did he do? He took the power. And the power that was given to him, he took by threatening. What happened? He unleashed terror on Nigeria. Is it not Buhari that asked you people that they use your land or you go 6 feet or under it? Is it not additional? Who is additional family? Is it not Muhammad? Come on, man. All these things is just Nigeria is in trouble. Okay. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. Appreciate your call. Keep it civil still, everyone. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too.
My take here this afternoon, I think what we're going to do for the sake of these children. Hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, for the sake of these children, what they need to do now that Gumi is out to stand for them. For the sake of the children, I think what the government needs to do is to give them a contract. Let them go and negotiate. At least let the children be released.
Right.
Then after they release the children, government cannot get rid of him. But if you refuse to give him that contract, those children will not come out alive.
Okay.
So I think the best thing to do is to bounce to his tool right now. Then after the children, the government will now get rid of him and deal with him effectively.
All right.
That's my take.
Thank you so very much. Let's get your take. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, the best anchorman in the Nigerian space of 2024. Good afternoon, Mr. Kamujide.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, my honorable CP.
Good afternoon to you.
This is Bright Asamota. I'm calling from Italy.
Welcome, Bright.
Yeah, I want to just touch on the insecurity level in Nigeria. You know, yesterday I called and I made some, I gave some suggestion. You see, from my own observation and understanding globally, because whatever is happening in Nigeria today, you cannot take the global space out of it. It's always connected. You see, the insecurity going every day, increasing, people kidnapping every day, is getting higher and higher and higher. I think the government is a part of it. It's not that the government cannot, they don't want to stop it, or they are a part of it. Let me give you an instance. The IMF, the World Bank, when they are working and they try to, they are always upfront supporting any country in Africa. They always support any country that is in big crisis. They always put money there. So it's a win-win for the World Bank and the IMF, and as well a win-win for the government in power in those countries that are having those meltdown. So in the case of Nigeria, the current situation is enabling the government to have more money from these international bodies. You understand? So those things are intercoordinated. That is why they are connected. That is why it has been there for ages. Even when Jonathan tried to, destabilize the situation, there were international forces that came and they took him out of government, because it's a win-win for the both parties involved. These are not just helped me because some politicians have. No, let's say the way it is, the government are part of it. Okay. That is why they can always go and be borrowing, and these people keep giving them money. But my only fear today, as we speak, is that Nigeria should not be the second base for the United States for the case of Russia, because if you look at the whole Sahel now, the Burkina Faso, the Mali, the Niger are no more in the pan of the United States or in the or with France. So the only people that have alliance with the United States and with the Europeans is Nigeria, and we have oil and we have gas. So you might see before now till December, if this crisis continue, don't be surprised to have a base of the United States Army in Nigeria to say, okay, we are here to support the government. But that is not the issue. They are there for another reason. So that is where we are heading to.
All right.
And that is my suspect.
Let's leave it there. Thank you so very much, Bright. Appreciate your call. I'll take more calls, okay? But let me just see if I could touch on all of these messages, some of them, okay? It's quite funny. Okay, hold on. Let me talk to this person first. Hello, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Julia.
Good afternoon.
And good afternoon, CP.
Good afternoon to you too.
What's your name?
Yes, sir. My name is Sonny. I'm calling from Casablanca.
Okay, I think I spoke. Were you the first Sonny who called?
No. First
not
one
me.
From Sweden.
Oh, really?
This is Casablanca, not Africa.
It's okay.
Let's
go.
In Morocco.
Okay, sir. When it comes about Nigerian issue, if one have to discuss Nigeria, you need a full day. In fact, a full day is not enough. But let's be brief. I want to be brief. Mm-hmm. Nigeria is a very complicated place to be, and very complicated in terms of governance, because we have to admit that every one of us has failed the country. Naturally, we have failed the country. Be the professors, the lawyers, the law enforcement agents, the politicians are the head of the failure of the system. And why? Because nobody is held accountable for any wrongdoing. The highest you will hear from any wrongdoing is that we have suspended so and person. I have been into many countries where if you're a minister and there's a failure in your ministry, you go to jail. Jail is big. I have visited a country where the president said that I am the president. I have my place in jail. So every citizen here have his place in jail. So the constitution is supreme. They don't look at face to say, okay, this man had been former president. No, he was an ex-general. No, he was the son of, or also a minister. No. The constitution says it is ABC. Either you do it or we do what the constitution says we should do to you. But right in Nigeria, it's a different ballgame entirely. The law changes based on who is involved, based on what is your name, the contract you have, relationship you have. A lot of things, a whole lot of things. When it comes to some places, if you're a CP, let me use a DPO in a particular section of in a particular side of the city, or what they call a division, and a crimes happen there, you are unable to fish out the true criminals. You will be in their position. You take their place in jail. We are paying you with our tax money. We are wearing you with our money. Dressing you with our money. The gun you carry is our money. It's a public institution. It's not an individual something. If everybody stands. So if you're a DPO or a CP in a particular position, you stand. You don't sleep. Don't you send a checking point, be it Abdullahi, Emeka, or Luwale, whoever. You send at a particular checking point. You tell them, please don't create problem for me.
Thank you.
Please, I beg you, for you to send Abdullahi, Emeka, and Aduwale to a particular junction to stand to man their security men there. You know them already. You know their antecedents. You know what they can do and what they cannot do. Because if they create problem, they will be in problem. You, their commander, will be in problem. So
all right, let's leave it there. Let's leave it there.
Okay. I still have more to say about that.
I know you already said one day won't be enough for you. So how will two minutes be enough?
It's all right, sir. Have a nice day.
Thank you so very much, though. I appreciate your call. Yeah. Now let me quickly touch on the messages. This one says Buhari's statement that Tinubu has done well is a height of hypocrisy and insensitivity. It shows clearly that he is completely detached from the suffering of Nigerians. It's quite unfortunate, according to him. And this one says, budget padded again with insecurity, hunger, poverty, elevation, and unemployment, inflation rather, and unemployment plaguing the nation. These actions are insensitive to the people's plight. Every naira of our budget, especially in these challenging times, should be judiciously used to build a better Nigeria. Olusoga Ajayi from Odunlai Ikorodu sent in that message. This is Chooks. As we can see, it's Gumi's season again to cash out. As a matter of fact, that man should be answering some questions by now. Gumi's time to cash out. Okay. What did you say here? It is a big disgrace that even those who were flogging people during the presidential election after they said and done manipulation. What are you trying to say? The same president still watched them dying in hunger and starvation. Those he even has conscience. What are you trying to say? For the former president is really correct. Okay. I'm trying to put all of these things together though, but thank you so very much for your message. Let's see who's there again. Dialoguing with terrorists is totally unacceptable. Negotiating with this group will bring more sinister groups. Queen from Oshodi. I don't know if you agree with that, but hold on, CP. Maybe you wrap up with that for us. Okay, those are the messages. Let me visit my YouTube friends and see the clean messages I can take from there. All right, a good leader is he that respects and loves the people. Oga Chooks, you are one of those good leaders. God bless you for the good works you do. Innocent Okoye sent in that message. Most there again, does Nigeria need a mental evaluation? Because we have been going from pillar to post for the past 63 years. That one is from Mola Diwali. Okay? All right. Everyone, let's see. CP Chooks.
Yes.
Do you agree that it will bring up some other sinister groups who would want the federal government to also negotiate? What do you think?
Well, like one of the callers stated, what is sacrosanct is human life. If you want to use force, at the end of the day, all those captives may not come out alive. So you stoop to conquer. That's what the Englishman would tell you. So pretend to be stupid and go into negotiation. I mean, because of that pride, you don't need to do it. Let the Gumi himself, since he's a respected Muslim cleric, let him go and do it. The bottom line is that we want everybody out of that camp safe. That's my own suggestion. Then if we get them out, you can now go back to the drawing board and plan whether you're going to use Tokano or you want to go and clear a lot of places.
Where is that Tokano?
They are there.
Where?
In some of the Air Force bases. For strategic reasons, they wouldn't give you details where they are parked.
Okay. Everyone, I would have CP here on Thursday by the grace of God. Yes, we have a lot to talk about.
I'm there.
And I will start from where I stopped.
It's
Tucano okay. Jets.
It's okay.
Tucano. Yes. My name is Jude, everyone. On Facebook, Ikami Jude is my name. On Instagram, Ikami Jude. Everywhere, Ikami Jude. It's spelled IKAMIJUDEH. Just one word. I love you so much, everyone. Thank you. Those who called in, those who sent messages, my phone is still ringing like it's about to bust. We will talk more on Thursday. But I'll be here tomorrow still. Thank you so very much. CP Chooks, merci
beaucoup for having me too.
It's time to go, everyone. I don't want to go, but I must go. Thank you. I'm out of here. Good afternoon to you.